Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today. I am Jim Coppinger, the technical principal here at ZenTek Consultants, and I welcome you guys to the latest installment of our From Chaos to Control, the ZenTek simplifies construction technology for you. And what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of create our standard demo file. So the way we work these Chaos to Control series is I do one video, which is kind of a how-to, all right, which kind of talks to you about different topics, important things, and then we did into more of a practical demo, which is what we have here. All right, and what we're talking about for today is we're really talking about documentation collaboration. If you guys take a look down below this video, you'll see a link to the other how-to video where I kind of talk about the details of why this is important and why this is something you need to address in your construction firm. And here I'm going to give you a practical demo today in Procore, and I'm only using Procore because that's what I have, that's what I use. But the concepts, the ideas that we're talking about today work the same way whether you're using Procore or Autodesk Construction Cloud or Top Builder or any other construction management system, right? In ZenTek, we work with all of them, right? So Procore is where I live and breathe for the most part, so that's what I'm going to use here today. So with that said, let's kind of go in and talk about what we mean here, right? So the problem that we have is collaboration and making sure that all the different stakeholders on your job really have the ability to look at, work from, build from, order from the most current version of your documentation or your construction documentation, both drawings and specifications. And if that's not centralized, if it's not in one location, you wind up with people who are putting things up from something that was 2 revisions back, so it's in the wrong place and it's got to be ripped out, and there's contract disputes and there's lawyers involved and there's a loss of time and money and delays. It's a horror we all face every single day. And if we're working in a construction management system like Procore, where we can just go in and centralize all of the construction documentation into this one central location that notifies everybody in real time as you work, makes a huge difference. Let me show you what I mean. So I just got a Procore project up here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go over to the drawings. All right. So you see we're going to work in both drawings and spec today. So just real quick, I'm going to go into the drawings. I'm not going to get too detailed into the multi-steps and how to do all of this. It's not really what this is about. It's a technology overview to show you what you should be doing. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go in and see right now there are no drawings in the project. But rather than emailing out drawings or giving people a link to what's on my SharePoint, which they may or may not check and update, I'm just going to go in here, right? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload drawings. And all I have to do is go ahead and I'm just going to attach some files, right? And I'm just going to click on Upload Files to browse out, right? And here are my current project files. And you see I can just grab them all and open them up. All right, and then it just takes a second while it loads all of them in here as soon as they're done loading and processing. All right, and you see they're all just basic PDF files. All right, but this is the most current version. I can just go ahead and attach those. All right, and then I can go ahead in here and I can create, all right, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'll create a bid set for it here. This is our initial bid set. All right, sorry, I'm not a great typist. All right, so I'll go ahead and say this is our initial bid set. And I've got the ability to set different dates. The date that the architect issued the set of drawings, so we say he did that on the 1st. The date the drawing was actually authored, all right, where they were actually completed, back on last month on the 10th, and we got them on the 21st. Right? And I can get into more advanced options here, right? Where I can start adding, hey, these are all default revision 1, right? Their initial bid set, they went through one set of preliminary review. And there's a whole bunch of different tools you can do for getting revision numbers and so on from file names. Not going to worry about the details here, right? This process is the same in pretty much any of these construction management systems, right? And all we have to do is wait for this initial bid set to just go ahead and load up. Now, once it's loaded up, all we have to do is go over here and say, hey, we're ready to review those, right? We just click on the review button, it loads them up, and now I can go through and I can change all of the specific names and numbers and, right, look for, what the numbers are and where the titles are, etc. Right? It's got ones that have issues. And again, not really getting into the details of all of this, right? I just want to go through and you can see that it's loading up all the different drawings. Right? I can go through and check and verify each one and make sure that it's all good. Right? And I can just go ahead and I'm just going to confirm all of that, all right? Or I can go in one at a time and confirm each one, all right? And I can pan and zoom and see what's in each file. Or I can just go ahead and say confirm all. I'm good, I'm ready to go. All right, so that's, all right, yeah, it had some questions there on a couple of those that were already loaded, all right? So, once this is all done, right, it's great, right? So all of these drawings are now available. They're out in our construction management system. Everybody can get to them. But here's the important thing, right? It's one thing to have these drawings that people can go in, they can mark them up, they can share them, they can work from them. They can be constantly updated. More importantly, though, if I go up here and I go to the settings, right? The real important thing here is about connection and collaboration, right? And you see that I can go in here and I can select the users who I want to receive updates. Anytime a change, a markup, a modification, a new revision, a new version comes in, I can build groups, all the users, right? Just administrators, whoever needs to be on. I can put together a group of all the trades, subcontractors, suppliers, vendors on this job who have bid and are working on it and have won all of the bids. And I can just say, hey, whenever this changes, I need you to update and notify all of those, right? I don't have to do anything. I'm constantly communicating with people every time a change is made, right? And I can go in here and I can set other, who can, gets emails, right? Specific users, certain users on certain things, right? I can have different drawing sets go to different disciplines and so on. There's a lot of great tools built into a structure like this, but the important part is that collaboration side. Then now we've got the centralized location for everybody in this entire set, right? To be able to work with and coordinate the entire setup. And all I really have to do at that point, so right now I haven't published this out publicly yet, but I can go into the set and I can just go ahead and say, hey, let's publish these, right? And then when I publish these, say I can publish and distribute, which will automatically send emails to everybody in my list that the initial bid set is up, ready for you guys to start working from, right? Or I can just go ahead and publish changes and updates. Right? And again, same thing. All I have to do is just go through and wait for it to load and tell me what's going on, right? Nothing major going on there. So, right? So that's great. That's one way to handle all this. And the other great thing about this is that I can go in later on, and all I have to do is refer back to the, I can just go ahead and say publish all. Apparently there's some issue going on with this. Yeah, I got something going on with one of the drawings I uploaded. I can go in later and I can republish the same files when revisions are made, and it will automatically notify everybody. And if A4.3 becomes revision 2 or 3 or 4, the numbers here will change, and it keeps copies when I go into the view, right? And I can go back to all the older versions of these and see the old versions, which is also really, really important, right? That I can go in and I can see all of the, by disciplines and set name, and I can see all the out-of-date versions, and I can track where the changes happened from version 1 to version 2 to version 3. So I know exactly why and where and when and how all of this is going on, right? Why were these changes made? How are they going to impact all the other trades on my project? Right? And we can do exactly the same thing here, right? By going in and doing it with the specifications in almost exactly the same way, right? I can go ahead and I can just go ahead and upload my specifications, right? Same thing, right? I can go ahead and just attach files, right? Upload a file, right? And I'll go in here and I should have up one more level. Yeah, one level too deep. It should be right there. There it is. All right, so there's a specification manual, right? I can just go ahead and upload that. All right, and you see it just processes the manual, and I can just go ahead and attach that to my job. All right, and again, I can go in and I can create, same thing, right? I can go in and put in another a spec set, right? Initial bid set for the spec. Create that. I can set all the, the standard dates. Right, when things were set, which format am I using? CSI master format, NCS format, whatever it is. Right, set the issue date. I'm just grabbing some random numbers here. Right, and I can get into all my advanced options for numbering and breaking down and so on. Right, and just tell it to go ahead and process that. Right, and doing exactly the same thing. Right, it'll take a little while to process that setup, but I can do exactly like we were doing before. I can go over to the specifications over here. Right, and I can configure my settings. Right, to be able to go in and decide who gets automatic notifications. How do we know when a change is made to the spec? What's been red bubbled? What's been marked up? What's been commented? Right, what RFIs were added to it that changed the spec? Right, it really is just all about going in and being able to collaborate and coordinate on all of your construction documentations from this one central location. And one thing I talked about in a previous video that I just want to stress here again, doing this and putting this together really isn't enough. It's very important that you guys put this verbiage, the language, into your contract that all subs and vendors, etc., have to, and that they are financially and legally responsible to use only this location for the latest and greatest files, that everything they build and work off of has to come from here, right? That way, if they're like, hey, I downloaded a copy and I have it and it's from such and such a date, and you're like, yeah, well, that's 3 revisions back, it doesn't matter, right? Because now whatever costs or that it may incur because they're not doing what you told them to do, that's not on your dime, it's on theirs, right? And those are the kind of things that a construction management system can really help you save a lot of time, effort, money, and aggravation simply by working everybody from the central location and collaborating instead of just everybody getting email copies and potentially working off of different versions. So I hope that helps you guys out. I'll catch you next time.